everybody, I'm Jen Houston. Welcome to Shut Your Cake Hole, where we talk about cakes, and more. So, about 2 years ago, I was asked by Coney Island USA to make an edible centerpiece for their spring gala at the New York Aquarium. Since Coney Island USA is the host of the world-famous Mermaid Parade, I had to make a mermaid. I realize this project is over 2 years old, but I was very, very busy finishing our feature film called Evil Sublet, in which I star alongside Sally Struthers.
Oh, hello.
Which is now streaming everywhere on Tubi, on Amazon, on Fandango. You must check it out. But here it is, at long last, The Mermaid. I've molded a solid white chocolate skull.
Starting a human-like face on top of a human skull is a really, really great place to start.
And just bit by bit, I create her facial features. All right, I'm gonna make some isomalt eyes.
Isomalt is a form of sugar, and when you melt it down and let it firm back up again, it looks like glass. I've taken a little wafer paper, and I'm going to actually paint on what I want my eyeball to look like. The little edible paint. Got some isomalt melted, drip it in, and I'm just gonna lay my edible paper iris on top. And then I will tint a little more isomalt white. There we go. And then I'm gonna lay that right on top of part A. And now we wait. Cool. It's meant to be a little milky like that. All that's gonna take to clear that up is a little flame. And to keep it from getting frosty again, I'm gonna give it some edible glaze spray.
And ears, y'all. I don't know if merfolk have ears or not, but she's having some rudimentary kind of ears. So that's just what I'm doing. And now I begin the color wash and makeup. And yes, those are human fake eyelashes. But look, no one is going to be eating this. I mean, I hope. I'm applying these with a little corn syrup for glue. And more tinted isomalt and a mold to make a tiara. I've measured out each piece of PVC pipe and glued them together to make my armature. Building up now with some aluminum foil to create bulk, aluminum foil and foil tape to begin making her shape. Covered that with a sticky layer of marshmallow, then bulking even more with some Rice Krispie treats. And I cover all of that with some white chocolate ganache, which I have dyed green. Moving on to the skin part of our gal with some flesh-colored modeling chocolate. And boobs! Gonna tint this fondant a few different shades of blue and green. Cut some discs and begin the scale pattern from bottom to top.
At the Mermaid's fancy ball in Father Neptune's hall, the little eels were pickled and they did an naughty wiggle.
A little edible gold paint.
Crab that made the bluefish giggle at the Mermaid's fancy ball.
Now I'm forming the extended arm out of some armature wire, some aluminum foil tape, and covering it in modeling chocolate.
At the Mermaid's fancy ball.
Took her head from the workboard and attached it to her body. Getting her some fondant hair. Lots of it. More bling. She is going to have so much bling, y'all. Now to make her fin, I colored some warm water and dipped some rice paper wraps until they were flexible, then laid them on a piece of acetate to dry overnight. See? Solid, but a tiny bit flexible as well, and a bit sheer.
Spreading some sand-colored white chocolate so this raw sugar will stick so that I can have a bed of sand. And now I begin making a pile of gold and pearls and shells and a giant sugar amethyst and gold doubloons and as many little sugar gemstones as I possibly could make. And of course I had to make a pirate sign. And finally attaching the fins with some chocolate. Crystals. Made of isomalt. Wow, this gal's got everything down there.
And she's finally done. I don't know how many pounds of fondant and modeling chocolate and poured sugar and foil, but it was a blast to make. And I want to thank Laurie Lieber for asking me to make her for the Coney Island Spring Gala in the first place. Off she goes now to the New York Aquarium.
I also made a ton of cupcakes. Those were for eating.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I promise I won't wait 2 years before my next cake haul. And if you haven't been out to Coney Island, you are completely missing out. You need to go check out the amusements. You need to check out the museum. You need to check out the Freak Bar. You need to check out the Circus Sideshow, which is amazing. These are all amazing people and an incredible non-for-profit arts organization, which I support heartily, and I hope that you will too. And if anybody tells you it's too long of a train ride to get to Coney Island, you need to say, shut your cake hole.
It's shut your cake hole, Jen, shut your cake hole. We're talking cake.